Hello and welcome back to the Favorite Person podcast. My name is still Alexander. The legal name change process takes a while. Still working on that. Anyway, this week I'm very lucky to be joined by John George, my friend and yours. He's a digital
Oh,
content creator for the Boston Uprising Overwatch League team, as well as the host of probably my favorite film podcast right now, Big Boy Movies, which I will put in the description because it's very good and more people should listen to it.
thank you. I'm happy to be here on this amazing podcast that has yet to peak somehow, honestly. I'm
Yeah, I don't.
upset. I know there's only been one episode, but surprised I'm not seeing it on like iTunes front pages, stuff like that.
Yeah, when I invited you, it was kind of just to like cover my bases. I thought I'd already like have used that as a
Made it.
platform to, yeah. I mean, I was expecting like movie deals, book deals, my dad to come back. Like I had really lofty expectations for that first
Uh,
episode, and
yeah. The second episode was just like there in case, like
yeah, yeah,
you thought you would only have to do one episode, really. I
right.
understand that.
It's a travesty, but it has given me the opportunity to talk to you, which I'm pretty stoked about. Let's see, questions. You recently broke a glass. Thoughts on that?
I did break glass literally less than 30 minutes before I sat down in this chair to record the podcast. I broke my dad's framed signed jersey of Chris Chelios, Detroit Red Wings player, hockey extraordinaire. And it's broke. It's downstairs. It's broken. It's still half picked up because I have to be here for this podcast. And hell, I cut myself in my elbow. I don't even give a shit about it. I'm bleeding through my shirt. I don't care. I'm here to do this pod.
That's the kind of commitment that Jeffrey could just never offer me. So it means a lot coming from you, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't see a drip of blood on Jeff that entire podcast. I did watch it myself. Didn't see any blood, sweat, or tears. So
Yeah. I mean,
you'll
there were
see a lot of
tears, but
that
it
from
was
me.
after we stopped recording.
Yeah, which is embarrassing.
Yeah, I kind of bullied the shit out of him, for lack of a better
Yeah,
word, and he didn't
he
take it
texted
well.
me
He has thin skin,
about
for
that.
sure. Yeah. But
He texted me about that. He said, "Dude, if Alex reaches out to you to be on this podcast, please do not." Like he really laid into me after this podcast, and
yeah, he took it personally.
yeah, I'm kind of scared of you, but I'm down to be here. You like my podcast? Maybe you won't bully me. Hopefully.
Uh, I'm at least going to ease into it. Like, wait until, like, for Jeff, it took 45 minutes for me to ask a question, but for you, it's going to take me 45 minutes to sort of call you a piece of shit or what have you.
Okay, yeah, because you already did ask me a question about glass,
Yeah,
which you didn't have to research at all. I messaged you about it right before this, and so I'm assuming you didn't do that much research, make any questions, much like for Jeff,
I read your
and you
Twitter
just
bio, if that kind of
I
does
heard you
anything
read
for
that.
you. Yeah,
You
out
read it
loud.
live on the
Yeah,
podcast. I heard
pretty
you
much.
just read it.
I had to
Yeah.
stop myself from reading out your contact info. I was like at your email and I was like, shit, shit, shit.
I saw you like pause because you didn't know what to. I have like those little dividers in my bio. You
Yeah.
didn't know what to say when those
Yeah, I
dividers
don't,
came up. You were like,
I
how do I
thought that was
pronounce
like,
that?
yeah, I have a pretty loose grasp on the English language in general. So for you to throw something like that at me was pretty fucked, I
Is
thought.
this
But
an L? Did he just put an L in the middle of this? An I? Like, what is this?
yeah, no. But in all seriousness, I am gonna like ask you how to do that because my Twitter bio is looking a little scuffed, as it were.
I'm a pro Twitter bio writer myself.
I can
No, I just
tell.
like
Yeah.
copied everybody in esports. Like everybody in esports has that bio. So just copied
Well,
everyone. There's a button
fucking
on the keyboard for the thing. All right. I can
really.
show you where it is.
Sorry, I have a European keyboard. Don't ask why.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah, I don't. I
yeah.
am.
It's
I
actually all
can't
in
I can't
Hebrew,
help you.
which isn't
Yeah,
super conducive to.
absolutely. You know what? I'm gonna ask why. Why?
I was really hoping you wouldn't, but it was cheaper, if that helps. I'm sort of, it was sort of like get a nice keyboard, pay my rent, and for once my priorities weren't like completely fucked, and I made the right call.
Yeah.
I hope.
But did you have to like learn how to type on this thing, or did you like make all the Hebrew keys into English? Like what happened here? Can you get different keycaps?
Yeah, you know how
Like,
like in music school or music class when you're a kid, they have like those little stickers on each of the keys that have like what note it corresponds to?
yes.
It's like that, but it's just like the actual English letters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I feel like you could definitely find a very cheap English keyboard as well, though. So I think you just didn't look hard enough. I think
Do you have
you
an
gave up a
affiliate
little bit too
link
early.
or because I could kind of
No,
use it now, really.
I don't. I'm sorry.
This is so fucked already.
Do you think everyone on your podcast is affiliate links to?
I kind of assumed you're an internet guy, right?
That's the
that's what
requirement to have me on the podcast. You need an affiliate link that I can use, please.
Jeff got me a discount on a French press that I'm pretty fucking stoked on. So
Yeah. I don't even own a French press. Jeff gave me a nice little link to a cold brew maker. All right, way better than a French press.
yeah, I saw you.
It's just a mason jar. So,
I saw you pitching it to Bethany while she's high on
and she bought it
opiates. Like,
immediately. I didn't even
yeah,
have to pitch it at all.
that's the best kind of pitch, and arguably, like,
I just sent the link. And she was
have
in.
you ever have you ever had one of these bad boys? Fucking Rise oat
No,
milk latte.
no. Is it delicious? Because it
It's
looks delicious.
$2.97 per can. So
So it's fucking delicious, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
it's the nectar of the gods, to be certain.
10 out of 10, no doubt.
Uh, anyway, my first question would probably be because I feel like esports in general has been very much so on the rise over these past few years. Um, and when you first like learned about it, did you know that that was something you were interested in working in, or did it just kind of naturally like fall into place for you?
I think it was like it immediately clicked for me because when I learned about it, I was already majoring in sports media at Butler University. Go Dogs. Um,
Nice, dude.
yeah.
Really good.
And
Gordon Hayward,
everyone,
ever heard of him?
oh my God,
Our boy.
Gordon.
Oh shit,
Is
is that where the
he
Gordon
is
thing's over? Is that where your
no,
obsession with
no.
Gordon?
No, Jeff just we could talk about that later if you want after
Yeah,
this
sure.
question. Jeff just randomly wrote that sketch. It had nothing to do with Gordon Hayward. But yeah, Gordon Hayward's legs was fucked that one time. That was crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I was just like trying to find my place in the sports media world. Everyone was like Barstool Sport. That was when Barstool Sports was becoming big, and I hated it. But everyone in my fucking class was like, "This is so sick." And everyone was like doing shit like Barstool Sports. I was
Jesus.
like, "Okay, what do I do here?" And then I found out about esports through League of Legends mainly, or actually it was through Hearthstone, the card game,
Mm.
because that was what I got into first. And then I found out about League of Legends and the LCS and Worlds and all that shit. And I was like, oh, this is like sports, which I grew up with. I grew up playing video games and I grew up watching sports and loving and playing sports. So I was like, oh, this is like a perfect mixture. No one in the sports media program is doing this. This is a way to differentiate myself. And I think a really easy way to get on like the ground floor or something that I think will be really big one day. So it was just like a no-brainer to me. It just fit me. It was a way to stand out in this crowd at Butler. And it really did help. Clearly, I've made it pretty far in the esports world already. I'm proud of myself. No need. I'm not too humble to be honest about
Yeah,
it.
I can tell. Yeah, that's actually your Tinder bio. Is I made it pretty far in the esports world, and I'm not very humble.
I'm not very humble about it at all. I've made it so far.
I'm actually pretty stoked on myself, to be honest with you.
I don't make as much money as Ninja, but I'm basically like as cool as Ninja,
Yeah, and you
because I
didn't
made
even
it
have to
as
like
far
dye
as
your hair or anything. You just kind of
exactly, or wear a fucking headband or something, or yell at teenage boys on the internet. I didn't have to
yeah.
do that, but
I
I'm
mean
willing to.
that is kind of what you're doing right now in a sense. No, I turned 20 like 2 weeks ago. You're barely in the clear.
Barely. Shit.
You
I
just
was
made it,
really
dude.
hoping you were still 19, man.
Yeah. I actually waited till I turned 19 to invite you guys because I knew like this would just be a bad look for your careers. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
sort of like go into every interaction in my life anticipating getting bullied. So I sort of like to keep other people in mind.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Um, I've been watching and showing my family the clip where Ninja calls that kid a little shit. Like so much. I don't know why. I just love it. I just love how angry he gets at this kid.
Yeah,
It's
honestly,
just so
like
bad.
the
God.
entire invention and growth of esports as a whole, I feel like it was really building up to that one moment.
The thing is, it was such a long time ago. It was way before Ninja blew up. So it's fun. It just resurfaced because Ninja blew up.
Right.
And I think it's hilarious.
I think the funniest part is his name's Tyler, and that's kind of like a bad name in a way, you know?
His full name's Tyler Blevins. It's just a funny name overall. Like he is the epitome of why esports people decide to change their name, if you ask me.
Yeah.
He
There's
doesn't want to be Tyler
I mean,
Blevins.
like, I don't want to discount whatever talent he has, but there's no fucking chance he would be famous if he kept the name Tyler Blevins. I mean, it's just not gonna happen for you.
What about me? So I stream on Twitch, obviously. You've watched me.
Yeah.
I didn't change my name. It's still John George on Twitch. Do you think I have zero chance of blowing up now? Should I
No,
change my name to
I think,
some
dude, John George is no Tyler Blevins. I can tell you that right now.
Thank you.
You
Thank
have
you.
like, I don't know. At least John George is like, it honestly sounds like a fake name. It's so like
Mhm.
regal in a way. You're a king of
Literally,
yourself.
yeah, I know. Literally, like the first, I think it took 2 months interning at HeadGum because I introduced myself as John George. Like 2 months in, Riley realized that that my first and last name were John George. Not my first name was John George. It took a while. It was that moment was crazy to me. I was like, you think my fuck? I mean, everyone was calling me John George, so it made sense. But
Right. Since you mentioned HeadGum, that's actually obviously how I originally came to know you. I saw you in the two videos, I believe, two videos that you did with HeadGum, and then you're also pretty active in the HeadGum Discord, unlike the other fucking rats in there, for lack of a better word.
dumbasses.
Yeah, completely. How did that HeadGum internship come about for you?
It's actually like an insane story. Um, but I think it was in I was this, my beginning of my sophomore year. Me and my buds were like in high school. We're huge Jake and Amir fans, like diehard Jake and Amir fans. We our whole humor based off of these guys. And I think four of us decided to go to Toronto to go to one of their live shows. Um, and one of my buddies, Neil, is just like he has he has balls of steel. Man. Like he'll do whatever. Like me and the other two guys were like timid, nervous, but like right after the show, Neil's like, let's fucking meet these guys. Let's talk to them. Um, and Neil just like we just go up to them. Like there were a few people going like in the backstage area, in the parking lot, just trying to see if they would show up and like do autographs or pictures or something. And Neil just like, well, first of all, we just stood in line and then we took pictures with them, and then we just everyone else was kind of like awkward with them. And then we like us four and them just like immediately hit it off like we were like old buddies reconnecting or something. And then Neil just straight up asked JK, "What are you guys doing after this?" And Jake's like, "Oh, just chill after here. We'll chill out here after. We'll hang out with you guys." Which was we didn't hear that, and Neil like told us that after, and we were like, "Holy shit, no way, that's true." But true enough, Jake and Amir came out later and said, "Hey, we're gonna go to this bar. You guys want to come with us?" And we were like, "Hell yeah!" And then we like hung. They were there for like a whole weekend show thing, so we hung out with them the next night too. We were still stunned that they wanted to hang out with us the next night, and that's how I met them and became friends with them in a weekend. And I was like, "Holy shit!" A lot of it goes to Neil, who had the balls to ask Jake that, but Yeah, then 2 years later, I think I applied for an internship, and since they knew me, I was a shoo-in, I guess, at that point. And then I interned there for summer. It was fun.
You were just there for the summer, right?
Yeah, and then I'll still. I mean, I'm still buds with like everyone there.
Yeah.
So we still have. I think there have been 2 videos I've been in since I left as an intern. The app one and the TikTok one. So I'll go around there every once in a while and write a sketch with Jeff, obviously, and be in it. But yeah, only intern there.
Right. Obviously, with your movie podcast, Big Boy Movies, you have an interest in film. Is like that kind of stuff, working with them, I mean, quote unquote, filmmaking, like writing scripts and acting or doing any of that kind of stuff, is that something you're interested in, or is it just more of like a fun side thing?
Fuck yeah, dude. Like that shit is like I don't know. I so badly want to be back in LA because I really do miss doing that with Jeff and everyone at HeadGum. Like writing with Jeff and Riley was super fun. I think all the interns just like had super good chemistry writing wise and acting wise. And made it like, as someone who had no experience acting at all, made it super easy to get in front of a camera and act in front of them. And they're just super nice people. I enjoy doing it so much. I've always had an interest in movies and writing and directing, but never acting really. And they really sort of pushed me to get in front of the camera, and I enjoy the hell out of it now. And obviously I'm in Boston right now, but I definitely would love to be in LA again one day, just be able to write with them or something like that. I'd say that's definitely one of my biggest dreams right now, especially with the movie podcast and how many movies I've watched since like senior year of college, which was when I really started getting into movies. And now I'm just like, damn, I would really fucking love to be in this industry one day. That'd be sick.
Right. Obviously, you lived in LA for your internship. Did you stay there after the internship was over, or?
So after the internship was over, I still had one more year of school. So I went back to Indianapolis. Go Dogs again. Gordon Hayward wasn't there at the time, unfortunately.
Yeah. His legs weren't broken though, so that's kind of a plus.
Yeah, his legs broke. Did his leg? I think his leg broke that year actually.
Oh, really?
I think that was. I came back to school and his leg just fucking broke right when I got back. Basically, I was pretty.
I hate to say this, but I feel like it's related. I really do. I think you had a hand in this.
I'm with you on this bit. Honestly, I'm kind of scared. Like now that I'm looking back at it, like it's more than a coincidence. Obviously,
Yeah.
I right when I arrive, I open the fucking door, and on TV is Gordon Hayward's knee fucking snapped in half. Right? It's gotta be me.
I mean, there's a few camera angles where you can like see, sort of like his mouth moving, and it does seem like he's saying, "No, John George, why the fuck? How could you do this?"
I swear to God, I fucking broke his leg. I'm sorry, I just teared up a bit. But yeah, I had 1 year of school, and then I stayed around in Indy until like January 2019, I think. And then I went to LA once I had another job lined up, because you don't want to go to LA and not have a job and just spend a bunch of cash on living there.
Right.
So I waited to get a job, and then I got one with Rick Fox himself. So
Christ, really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
insane.
actually.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, just to put you on the spot, because it's sort of like my whole bit to make people uncomfortable. It's sort of how I make a living, for more or less. No, but where are you originally from? Because you said you went to the HeadGum show in Toronto.
Yeah, so originally from Michigan, like Detroit area in Michigan,
right,
which is where I am right now.
Right. And yeah, here comes the make you uncomfortable part. Just home address, like really quick. Like,
yeah.
Don't make a meal of it. And I'm like,
that's why I was trying to cut you off before you got more specific with it. I just wanted to. I wanted to imagine like, oh, he's just asking me what city I'm from. Thank God he's not asking like specifics about it.
No
or
dice.
like,
Unfortunately, I'm really gonna have to get like at least zip
yeah, nah,
code, if nothing else. Like,
I don't know, man. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I am feeling very nice today, and it is 232 Hawthorne Avenue, Grosse Pointe Woods,
ho-
Michigan. So
holy shit.
yeah,
I never thought that would work. You know what? I'm just gonna move past it since I'm already on a roll. Just really fast, like annual family household income, if you don't mind. Just like I feel like, we have a chemistry here that I'm trying to build on. And
235,000. I am so sorry, Dad. Shit. Ah, that came out way I did not expect that. I couldn't hold back. Um, it's the Gordon Hayward thing has me in a funk, man.
I can tell. I can absolutely. Has anyone ever told you you look like Gordon Hayward in the sense that you're
Someone told
white?
that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much as far as
Yeah,
it goes.
you could say that about like so many professional athletes. There are a
Nick
lot of white
Stauskas,
people.
maybe.
Yeah, that's another one.
Right.
Um, no one's ever told me I look like Gordon Hayward, but maybe I am Gordon Hayward.
Your ankle is broken right now. You tried to like play it down by saying you just cut yourself with some glass, but you're trying to fix the treadmill and you took one step and fucking snapped your tibia.
Yeah, it hurts really bad.
Right.
If I pass out on this podcast, you now know why, I guess. And I think it might happen soon. I can feel the blood sort of rushing
I
away
can see
from
the
my
pain in your
head.
eyes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was like a racer chair behind you just
I'm
giving you a
fucking getting.
career, but
I'm getting paler. I look like a fucking ghost.
yeah.
I'm gonna die.
Well, at least you look like Casper because you're awfully friendly, giving me your fucking annual income and all that.
Thank you. Never. Don't even know who Casper the Ghost is, so I don't know what the fuck that means. But thank you.
Yeah, you're a movie guy and you're not familiar with Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Casper. I gotcha. Just making up movie characters on the spot. It's okay, man. Not all of us know film.
Yeah. Um, sorry. So have you seen Uncut Gems there?
No.
Cool. Uh, The Lion King, maybe?
What's that?
Right. Of course.
One of the
Fuck
first
it.
movie I've ever seen.
What's that? First movie you've ever seen?
First movie I ever saw as a child
Mhm.
was Barney's Great Adventure. So the purple dinosaur.
Yeah, you didn't have to specify, definitely.
He went on a great adventure, and I witnessed it
Thoughts?
in
Reviews?
2D.
Okay, yeah.
Um, I can't remember it at all. I
Cool.
just have my mom took a picture in front of the poster, and the poster was pretty good. I think it was a good choice to make it purple because Barney's a purple dinosaur is mainly purple were the main colors on the poster. Um, but yeah, I don't remember the film at all. I imagine it was bad though.
So just to clarify, you specifically brought up that it was the first movie you ever saw so that you could mention that A, the poster was fine, I guess, and B, you don't remember anything about it, but it
This
was
is an
bad and
important
you saw it in
childhood memory
2D.
to me. I want it. I want it on your podcast. I want it forever
Not
on
that
the
important if you
internet.
don't remember any part of it, except for
I haven't mentioned it on any other podcast or video I've been in on the internet. So I thought, well, why not now?
you're saying that
I'm in a
like you're
movie.
doing me a favor, which is pretty
I
fucking
am.
insane. Okay, yeah.
I am doing you a favor. Like you brought me on this podcast to interview me, right? And you wanted to know more about me. Well, that's a very important memory to me. Okay. I didn't expect to get so angry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're shaking right now, which, given the circumstances, is very, holy shit.
Does this look like shaking to you,
A
bro?
lot, yeah. It looks exactly like if I had to define
I'm
shaking,
not
I'd probably
fucking.
okay.
That's probably just some Zoom filter or some shit. All right.
Zoom filter that makes you shake a little bit.
Yeah, it's like for fucking dancing or something. It's like a bass booster filter or
Yeah,
some shit. If you have music on. All right. Forget it. Let's just move on.
I added you on Discord, and you haven't stopped sending me TikToks since. They're on your account and they're privatized. You keep asking me to give you the fucking guts to post them, but I'm not gonna do it. It's just not gonna happen.
What else is Discord for? But you added me as a friend as well, so like I figured, wow, this guy's actually my friend in real life as well, not just via Discord. So I
Right.
might as well send him some ideas I have on my TikTok,
I mean,
which are
some of them,
pretty fucking good.
yeah, I guess, but a lot of them are like really like definitely against the TOS, like almost
Like what?
illegal in a
Like what?
sense.
Name
I,
one.
I
Name one.
can't say. I absolutely can't say.
See, nothing against TOS. If you can't even come out here, no evidence.
A
Imagine if this was a
TikTok's
case.
so illegal. It's not against TOS.
I mean, what is against TOS for TikTok? You can do whatever song you want. You can
Yeah.
steal as much content as you want. I might as well just get my dick out on TikTok.
Yeah, that was the pitch you sent me on top of every video. It's like you copy and pasted it, which is kind of insane considering it's a pretty small thing to type out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get really mad that I can't sue people for stealing my content on TikTok. It's
Yeah,
really annoying.
preteens fucking hitting the renegade to clips of your podcast.
I would love it if someone was doing that shit. I wouldn't even care. All right, I would never sue. This is me giving permission to any TikToker, including you, because I know you're a huge TikToker.
Oh my
Big.
fucking again with this. I mean, it's just
You can
so
use it.
to
You can use my
like
podcast.
the fact that I've had two guests on and they're batting 1,000 on mentioning that I look like I'm on TikTok is pretty insane. It's also
Whoever your third guest is, I'm gonna need the contact info for so I can make sure they know that you are a
right,
famous TikToker in case they don't.
right. Looking like you're on TikTok is possibly the worst aspect about TikTok, right? Like the way
It
people look is
definitely
the most
is.
fucked up part. Like at least if I actually was TikTok viral, that would mean I was like funny or I could like dance or some shit. But I just have a bad haircut and glasses, so that's not really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So you have all the bad qualities of TikTok, in my opinion, man. Sorry.
yeah. That being said, I am actually holding a fucking influencer party in my apartment tonight. If you
Oh
wanna,
my
if
God.
you
Who's
wanna,
invited? Who's invited?
it's it's you, Jeff, and I haven't heard back from either of you, so I'm sort of holding off
So
until.
that's it. That's a
Well,
party
it's
to you.
gonna.
It's three people.
Yeah,
Do
dude.
you want us to invite our friends? Is it bring a friend or bring a
Yeah,
plus
for
one?
sure. I mean, I feel like I should mention off the top that I'm like, I am like COVID positive. Like I got my test results
Okay,
back tonight,
yeah.
but I'm also like positive just in the sense of that I sort of spread joy
Okay, not
into
the same
like
thing. Those are
most of
two
the lives.
different ways to be positive, right?
Right, but like just because I'm sick doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. I'm pretty like nice, all things considered. I just happen to be a super spreader or what have
I
you.
know, honestly, I know what my next like one truth, one lie is going to be. It's going to be those two. It's going to be I'm COVID positive or I'm just a positive person. Which one is it?
I have coronavirus, or I just kind of have a good attitude about life in general.
Guess which one?
That's the ultimate trick question because it's obviously both.
Yeah, yeah. Has any ever? Someone should do both. I think that's a good twist in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna be a statistic in a global pandemic, you could at least like smile about it. You know what I mean?
Sure, I have COVID, but why should I get down about it? You
Yeah,
know,
right. There's so
like I
much
don't.
going on in the world that I mean, I'm not gonna let a little bit of like irreversible like respiratory damage do anything to
Yeah,
sour my mood. You know what I mean?
sure. I can't fucking breathe. I need a
Right.
machine to help me, but
Yeah.
I'll go. I'm going down the street to get my favorite burger. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. I take a walk, mask free, talking to as many people as I can at close distance, and then I go home and hook myself up to a fucking iron lung. And that's sort of my Saturday, as it were.
I'm only able to only able to go off the lung for a little bit, and then I have to come
Yeah,
back home,
it's sort of
unfortunately. But
yeah. I'm like a phone in the sense that I only ever I mean like I'm a broke phone because I only ever charge to 10%, but then I can use that 10% to like go on Instagram or really do whatever I want, but it's
yeah,
just like a limited time.
yeah, But it's kind of like a virus. You're a virus spreading it to other people in order to get their phones to only go to 10% as well. You know,
Yeah,
it's pretty
absolutely.
cool.
You did say on your last Twitch stream that if any podcast could spread COVID, it would be mine. So I
Which
appreciate
is
that.
very true.
I actually
Yeah.
really needed to hear that from you.
And
I've
it's a
been,
positive review. It's a
yeah,
positive review. It's not a negative review. It's a 5-star review on iTunes.
right.
Is your podcast on iTunes? Because I'll drop a review and that will be it.
Shit, now it has to be, right? It absolutely has to
Absolutely.
be.
So I can make a review of like if there was a podcast that could spread COVID, it would be this one
Yeah, I sort of
in a
like,
good way.
I've been waiting for my big break, and I really think you telling people that my podcast is going to give them a deadly virus is sort of like, I don't know. It's like when a restaurant gets a review in the Times or whatever, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it's exactly like that. Like you fucking nailed it. So I
You're
am
sort
the
of the
Times.
Anthony Bourdain of podcasting in a way.
Yeah, like I don't know a better way to explain it than how you just did, to be honest. So
Yeah, that's why I get paid for this, for sure.
how much?
I've earned how much?
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I was open about how much my family makes personally. So
okay. I mean, I sort of uh it's kind of hard to put it into words, but I guess in a sense, I like go on Twitter and spend like the better half of my day posting my Venmo in completely unrelated. Like I'll find a I don't know, like a fucking Bleacher Report article, for example, and I'll just sort of drop my Venmo and just pray to God someone's feeling generous. You know what I mean?
and it works.
Not yet, but I just got to
Okay,
keep
so
posting. That's why it takes all day.
I asked you how much money you make or how you're making money off this podcast, and you completely unrelated said that you drop your Venmo in the reply section to a Bleacher Report article.
Hmm.
So that didn't really answer my question,
I
but
was just trying to relate to you because you said you're
because that's I don't do that. Do you
sports
think I do that?
sports
Sports
media. It was
media.
your
Okay,
major, so
yeah.
I really thought I thought we
So
would sort of have like
you thought you'd
a
drop the
kinship
Bleacher
in that
Report.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
for
Because
sure.
you think I do that as well, or like other sports media people do that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah, no.
I know you make
No.
like digital content for Boston Uprising, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's just sort of code for dropping your Cash App and fucking praying to whatever
I
god you
mean,
know.
honestly, I don't blame you. Digital content's a pretty vague title they gave me. So it could be it could literally be me making a video of my Cash App code.
It is
And
digital, and that is content. That's absolutely
exactly.
content. I'd
I
pay.
could I could fucking make that.
I'd fucking Venmo you for a picture of your Cash App right now. I swear to God, I would.
Please do.
No, but that is actually a very vague title. So, do you want to talk a little bit about what it is you actually do at Boston
Yeah,
Uprising?
sure. I'm it's basically a video editor at this point because of COVID, but before COVID I was also shooting video. I'm videographer, video editor basically. So I before COVID all the Overwatch League teams were traveling to each other's areas and stuff like that. So I would travel with the team and take video of them like backstage before matches and while they're playing on stage and after matches and a lot of stuff throughout the cities, like city-based content, because it would be like, oh, first time this guy's in New York, let's get him a slice of New York pizza, or some,
Nice.
um, stuff like that, uh, as well as like just doing like shoots of like setup content of like those classic videos, like fucking I don't know, trying each other's foods because they're all from different countries or some shit. So they're like, let's try some fucking Vegemite today because
Right.
this guy's from New Zealand, and then everyone pukes and it's fucking awful. But now I just video edit, and then I used to also video edit, but now I just video edit. Um, Boston Uprising's like owned by the people who own the New England Patriots, the football team.
Oh,
So I have
the Kraft
also
family, or
yes, the Kraft
Jesus.
family. So I have been helping since the Patriot season's about to start. I have also been helping by editing some Patriot stuff. So
Really?
yeah,
That's very exciting.
oh yeah,
Obviously, you're not from the Boston area, but
no.
how did you fall into that then? Like,
Well, I don't know. So Echo Fox, which was who I worked for before this, owned by Rick Fox, as I mentioned. Um, they died big time.
Jesus.
So I was let go, unfortunately, and then I was just looking for jobs. And Overwatch is one of my favorite video games. Like one of the biggest reasons I got into esports as well. So I've always wanted to be in Overwatch League. So when I got that job, I was just like, yes, that was like the main reason. But also Boston's like one of my favorite cities too. I used to go there all the time with my family in the summer. I really like the city. I really like the Italian food. There's fucking delicious, super good pizza. So I was like, hell yeah, I love Boston. And it's great. I mean, it was great until I was just stuck in my apartment all day.
Right.
And now I'm back in Michigan because I don't even need to have an apartment in Boston really when I don't need to be there. So,
Are
but
you,
it was great for 3 months.
that's 3 months of your fucking life, dude.
Yeah,
Are you,
just 3 months.
yeah, why does your life keep moving in 3 month segments? Like you interned for a summer and then you had a big job for 3 months. Three
Yep.
months from now, you're gonna be in fucking, I don't know, fucking Tampa Bay, Florida.
It's the life of that is the esports life.
Yeah,
While it is cool to get something on the ground floor, I guess, like things are super unstable. I mean, the
right.
internships are internships, obviously, so they could only be 3 months. But Echo
Yeah,
Fox ended pretty quickly. This one's more stable, I can already tell. So, but obviously, COVID got in the way, and like I have a job, but I could have it anywhere. Like it's not as great as it was. It was peaking, and now I'm
right.
fucking down. It's like shattering glass.
Back to the glass thing, right?
I just can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, did you actually even break glass, or is that just sort of a general metaphor for the past like nine
It's
months for you?
I'm glad you finally fucking caught on. Like
Yeah,
that's why I keep bringing it up.
right.
It's a fucking metaphor, obviously. Wouldn't I be a great filmmaker? I just fucking keep bringing this thing up to make sure you know it's a metaphor, all right?
Yeah. If you show glass in the first act, you have to fucking break it in the third and be pissed about it too.
Be really fucking pissed. And
Um,
then make sure everyone knows it's metaphorical fucking glass. It's not real, all right?
right. That's Oscar material, if you ask me.
That's what I put in the credits, actually. I literally just type out, it's not fucking real glass. It's fucking metaphorical, all right?
Yeah.
Get really pissed because I know the audience isn't going to get it.
Right. Yeah, that's in parentheses underneath the headline for the Academy's consideration. It's not even Oscar bait at that point. You're Oscar begging. Like fucking please.
Oscar,
I need this.
please give me an Oscar. Every other line of the credits just says Oscar, please, with a begging hands emoji.
So it sounds like you've been into filmmaking. You said you got like super into movies in college, right?
Yeah.
What was
Um,
sort of or like the straw that made you finally decide that you wanted to start a podcast specifically about films?
Um, it's just like I don't know. So I got big into movies when I discovered the website Letterboxd,
Mm.
and then I was like, "Fuck it! If I can log this shit, I'm just gonna watch a bunch of shit." And then I discovered like really good movies from it. And I think like that was a huge reason why I got into movies is because I'm not that big into like superhero movies and action movies and stuff that's really popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and having Letterbox there to like show me a bunch of shit that I actually like was great. Um, and then like I don't know, it just felt so. I just needed like a co-host, and my co-host Matt Beebe um, was like finally the one to do with me. Like I don't know, I had people before that I felt like I could do a movie podcast with, but like didn't watch movies as often. Whereas BB definitely watched movies a good amount, knew a lot about them, went to school for it, and I was like, oh shit, like now's the perfect time because I was doing a bunch of podcasts in college. I feel like I've had a podcast since freshman year of college, like not one podcast, but like I've had like several podcasts, and I've always actively been doing a podcast since freshman year in college. So it's been a while since I haven't had a podcast, and it was naturally going to happen one day that I had a movie podcast. And I'm happy I have one now. It's almost a year. I think it's going to be a year in a week that we
Yeah, like
started it.
September
So
9th, I think.
yeah.
How's that for
So
fucking research? Yeah.
hell yeah.
It's actually,
you know the exact date and I don't. So
yeah, it's actually scribbled all over my fucking wall. I thought it was Expo, but it's actually Sharpie, so the landlord's gonna be kind of pissed all things
were you
considered.
going to forget it or what?
I have a
You
bad
just-
memory for sure. Yeah, I sort of.
do you know like about Google Docs or like the Notes app on your computer? You don't have to fucking scribble shit on your
Who?
wall. These aren't people. They're apps. You just
You
fucking
said
type my.
you said doc? Is
You're
that
on a
is that?
computer right now, right?
It's more of like a, like a fax machine.
There's no way you're zooming me on a fax machine right now, but I do know a fax machine. Yeah.
I don't. I'm only 20. I'm like kind of young for that. So I was just hoping you could explain the whole process to me. Because, like I said, I don't have a computer, so I don't really have Google. So
Is
I sort
someone
of just
asking you
go,
to fax them something?
no, but it feels like something that I'll run into. I
No,
feel like I
it's
have
not.
once I take my septum piercing out, I feel like I have a face that would work in in an office for the rest of its life, kind of like depressed and shit. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
was just wondering. I feel like that needs to be one of my
Skills like
skill,
you
yeah, on my
on your
resume.
resume or
Which
something.
also
Okay.
really quick. I know this is kind of a digression, but if I could just dictate like my resume to you really quick and you could type it
No.
out, because like I said, I
Oh
mean
my god.
I can write it on my wall, but again, like I don't see what
Why
that
on the
really
pod? Why
accomplishes.
on the podcast? Like, I understand asking me like as a friend for a favor, maybe dictating it later, but right now?
Well, I just don't want to forget it's all. And also my wall's like really running out of room.
Yeah,
So even if
yeah,
I
okay.
wanted to write it down, I
What about the
probably
wall
could.
behind you? You would do you not look at that wall?
No, that's for lights and shitty
Yeah, I see
paintings,
that.
as it were.
And a hat.
And a hat, yeah. Yeah, I don't know
One
what,
hat.
dude, San Antonio Spurs retro hat. I'm really not a
Oh
hat guy, but I
shit.
saw that hat and I was
But
like,
that's
it's kind of
you
cool.
gotta have it. You
Yeah,
gotta
for
have it.
sure. Um, fuck. Oh, so you brought up being a big sports guy.
Yeah.
Uh, what are your thoughts on the whole NBA bubble situation and sort of how fucking insane that's been? I mean,
It's
more so just like with the general concept, not what's specifically going on right now, because that's a
not specifically the scores of the games. Like I was just going to start reading the
yeah. I
scores
was sort
off
of
because I thought that was the question. You just wanted me to like tell you how it's going for each
yeah. You said
team.
sport. Yeah, like I said, no internet, no computer. So I'm kind of hoping the Portland Trailblazers are pulling through right now. I really, I could use some good news right now.
I think it's interesting. I don't know. Like I've heard ratings are down. I personally have not. I haven't been watching it as much as I would usually watch NBA playoffs. I don't watch NBA regular season that much because I'm a Detroit Pistons fan and they suck.
Yeah,
Um, but I was really big in NBA when they were good. Um, but I don't know. I think they're handling it better than like the MLB or the NFL is with the. I think the bubble is a better way to handle it for sure.
yeah. The
But it's
MLB had like a whole
so many
team,
cases. Yeah.
like yeah, like six. So and so, I don't know. It's I mean, I definitely enjoy sports, and it was like cool to see them come back. But even I was like, this feels so unimportant right
Yeah,
now. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
uh,
Even like MLB, like I don't know. I'm a huge like Dodgers fan ever since I went to LA, and it helps that the Tigers aren't good right now, and I could bandwagon onto someone. But and the Dodgers are dominating right now, but it like feels like if they finally, it's been a while since they won a World Series. It feels like if they finally win one this year, people just like might discount it because it was half a season, like it was nothing, and I don't know. It's everything feels so weird. I'm super interested to see how the NFL does. Like apparently, some teams have plans to bring fans back eventually in the NFL, which is interesting. I'm the biggest. I watch football the most out of any sport, so I'm hoping that I don't get the same feeling that I'm getting while watching NBA, which is like it's not as fun without fans. And
yeah,
I think in the NBA especially, the fans make a huge difference, though.
yeah. I think I don't know. It's just very. It's definitely surreal to watch it without fans, but I also think just like having it come back in general is kind of a weird call. I feel like everyone's so like um antsy for things to return back to normal, that they're just rushing everything. And
Yeah.
I feel like a byproduct of that is it's just going to take longer for things to actually get better. But
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. I'm worried about the NFL fans situation.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
think they'll do it. So
I don't really trust like people in fucking Cleveland, Ohio to socially distance exactly, or to like be too worried with self quarantining.
exactly, which is, right by where Jeff lives. So
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
trust
That's
Jeff. And
specifically why I said that.
yeah,
He kind of dedicated like half the show to talking about how he was a
he doesn't
super
social
spreader, and
distancing.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember hearing that, and it makes me think everyone from Cleveland does not give a shit
right,
about
yeah.
this.
Since we filmed that, he's texted me like 4 times asking if he could come cough on me, which is a pretty fucked up thing to say, regardless of a pandemic. But
That is very fucked up. Yeah, like that is not a normal text before this. So I don't know what
yeah.
the fuck he's thinking.
Uh, so since you started the podcast, I would say, because I know like asking someone their top 5 favorite movies is kind of a hard thing to think of on the spot. But I would
Yeah.
just, I'll boil it down for you. What do you think are your favorite movies you've seen since the podcast started, which would be
Okay.
September of 2019?
Um, there's some good like oldies I've seen, but I like modern films a lot. Like I really enjoy watching movies that come out. That's why this year has been just like such a slog for me for movies because there's no new movies coming out, and I usually like new movies the best. But since the podcast came out, I really, I mean, my favorite movie of last year of 2019 in general was Marriage Story, um, which I know, like, I think it's just like a me. It's such a me movie. Like, I think it was made for me. It gave me like the same feeling like La La Land gave me and stuff like that. It's just like it's a me movie. I love it so much. I'm a huge fan of Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig and all these and that like section of Hollywood. Even though Greta Gerwig was not involved with Marriage Story, I like Little Women too. Um, I also saw Psycho for the first time, the Alfred Hitchcock movie,
Oh yeah.
since I started this podcast, and I that is a very stellar film. Besides the last a little bit of spoilers for a movie from like the 1940s or whatever the fuck. But in the last 5 minutes of Psycho, they literally have like a narrator explain what happened,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, okay, like this is such a if this movie came out this year, this would not be here.
Right.
Um, but it's a perfect movie besides like that moment in the movie for me. I really liked Psycho. I did not expect it to like it as much as I did. I thought it was just like that one shower scene that was so famous or whatever.
Yeah, it was
And
actually that looped for an hour and a half, which
yeah, I thought it
you
was
you wouldn't
literally
expect
just
it to be
that.
so entertaining, but it really.
Yeah. I was super, I mean, it was really good art, seeing that over and over again. So it was like have you heard of like TikTok? It was kind of like that. Like it was like I was watching TikTok before TikTok existed. So
Right. Have I heard of TikTok? You mean the thing you've brought up 4 times and also DM me about constantly?
oh shit,
Yeah.
you're on TikTok?
Yeah, absolutely. World famous, actually. People
what's
sort
your
of,
what's your favorite movie of the last year?
oh shit, of the last year. I'm trying to think, because I'm kind of behind on the whole like movie thing. I was super like I would watch a lot of movies that came out, and like I'd just go to the theaters with my friends like a lot through high school and college. But in general, I hadn't seen a lot of like classic movies, so I've been sort of like catching up with those. But I'd probably say Parasite, which I guess is like an easy answer, but it is really fucking good.
Dude, it deserves it. Like everyone's saying it, obviously, but that's I don't know. I think that is my second favorite movie of last year. But yeah, it's so good. You know what my new favorite hobby is actually is going on YouTube or Twitter or whatever and just like trying to look up like far right extremists who are very upset that Parasite won Best Picture. It's so funny to just like hear them basically so fucking angry to the point they're crying this,
Yeah, and also there's
this
no like
movie won.
genuine there's no way you can make that argument without just outing yourself as a racist. Like I
Yeah,
feel like that's
no,
so much of the alt-right, especially nowadays when they try and talk about the social issues going on. It's trying to like it's like, okay, how do I disagree with this without being racist? But there's no way you can do it. They're the
no,
only thing you could possibly dislike about the movie is if you're a racist. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, none of these videos, none of them has a person who has actually seen Parasite.
Yeah,
So
no.
like you'll hear like one person just like one of them I mean most of them of course are just like Joker should have won. Obviously that's the type of person that would
Yeah,
think
very
Joker should have won.
good point.
But they fucking would describe things that Joker does better, but they haven't seen Parasite, so they don't know that Parasite is very much has very similar themes to Joker actually.
Right.
So
And it's
they'll
just
go
like
into
pretty infinitely more clever about it.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
A Joker like they'll just go into this fucking rant about how Joker talks about like society and like fucking rich people versus poor people, and it's like you obviously didn't see Parasite because that's exactly what it's about. So
Yeah. It's dude, it's so insane to me that people who are like making reviews of Parasite, a movie they haven't seen before, probably think they're the Joker when they're writing those reviews. They think they're fucking going against the grain of society.
if fucking Joker saw the Parasite won Best Picture, this is exactly what he would fucking do. He would get on a talk show or whatever with Robert De Niro on it and just spew some shit about how Parasite won and it doesn't deserve it because it's not American, all right?
Can you imagine if that's what the fucking ending like monologue scene with when he's on Robert De Niro before he shoots him, he's just talking about why Parasite shouldn't have won the fucking Oscar.
Robert De Niro's like, you obviously didn't see the film. Like,
Yeah, clearly, name like one of the characters' names. That's not the point.
that's not the fucking point. It's not American. Which, by the way, there 19. I always love it when they like mention like why did 1917 win? It could have won, and they don't realize that that is not also not an American film.
Yeah,
it is an English film.
yeah. I think
So,
I think the key they're looking for is like a white protagonist, and they're just
yeah,
not.
yeah.
They're only finding it in Joker in 19.
Joker literally paints himself pale white at some
Yeah,
point, so
it's a
we
little
know
on the
for
nose.
sure.
It's like your breaking glass metaphor. It's kind of fucking. It's hard to get away
very,
from.
very on the nose. I also like to just call Joker Taxi Driver too because it is basically Taxi Driver. So
Incel taxi driver. The
so
name
Taxi Driver exactly.
That's what's kind of fucked up about the Joker movie to me is that like I saw it and I actually like think it's good, but just like the weird fan base that built itself around it makes it so hard to publicly like that movie. You know what I
I
mean?
know. I feel like that shit always happens. I don't know. Like I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty right now, and I just have to like completely disconnect myself from like
Yeah.
Reddit, like every internet part of Rick and Morty. I just had to be like, okay, let's pretend these people don't exist so I can enjoy this show again.
Right. Yeah, that's yeah, I watched the first two seasons when they first came out and I genuinely enjoyed it. And then I found like the internet fucking side of it and it just started. Although I will say the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen is I saw this interview with Dan Harmon where he was like breaking down one of the scenes in Rick and Morty and he compared it to Breaking Bad. And I could not believe my ears.
I gotta see this interview,
Yeah, I'll send it to you
please.
after this. It was so fucked. Like, it's not a bad show, and like I know a lot of hard
Yeah,
work goes into it, but to compare it to Breaking Bad, which is
yeah,
like the
no,
most
it's
critically
not
acclaimed
Breaking
show
Bad.
ever.
It is definitely not Breaking Bad.
Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Oh, of course. Breaking
Yeah.
Bad is definitely the best show I've ever seen. It's not my favorite show I've ever seen, which is I will shout out because legit more people need to see it. It's The Leftovers on HBO.
Mm.
It's my favorite show I've ever seen.
I just now finished Sopranos, which
I have actually never seen Sopranos. I
really
still need to see it.
I think are you at all like into the like mob kind of stories or that kind of shit?
I'm like on and off with it. See, my family, like I come from like an Italian background, so my family really fucking like Godfather. Like one
Yeah.
one vacation, we literally like my extended family went around the table and said their favorite movie. Literally everyone, either Godfather or Godfather 2. And I'm just like,
Right.
I don't Inside Out, which is my favorite movie, and everyone's like, what the fuck is that? Um, and then yeah. But I actually saw Godfather once, and I was super tired and fell asleep in the middle. So I still need to see Godfather. I really like Goodfellas.
Yeah,
Um,
that's probably
Such
my
a good
favorite of the
movie.
two, which I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but
Oh, I think it might be a hot take, but
yeah,
Goodfellas is also a really good movie. So, and I can't judge obviously because I fell asleep in the other one.
right.
But I also enjoyed The Irishman more than most people. So
Yeah, I mean, I sat through the whole thing and didn't like. I know it was long as fuck, but I
didn't
didn't really feel
stop. Like
like,
that's if you did stop the movie, that's like
yeah,
an achievement right
yeah, it
there.
really is. It's like justification right there. Like you can't say that you sat through the entire movie and then didn't like it because obviously you fucking liked it if you spent that much time on it. It isn't like an
Except,
hour and 5 minutes where you just
yeah,
like sit there and it's like, oh, okay, whatever, that was fine. Like you dedicated almost half your day to that fucking
yeah.
thing.
Like if you didn't like it, you could have just easily stopped
Yeah, you
it.
really should have. And it was released on Netflix, so like
Yeah.
it wasn't like you paid to be there. Like you didn't have to walk out of a theater. You could have
Yeah,
paused
exactly.
at any point, watched
The
anything
only
else.
the only person who has that excuse is my co-host Matt Beebe, who did not like The Irishman, but had to sit through it because he's on a podcast that
Right.
needed to review The Irishman. So
Right. My only like real complaint with it was just kind of how like dumb it was, like the way they tried to make him look the different ages. Like he's clearly not 20.
this guy's clearly not 20 right now. Yeah, not in any part of the film that I think this guy looked 20. I will tell you that much.
Dude, on the complete opposite spectrum of Godfather and Goodfellas. Did you see that John Gotti movie with fucking John Travolta as Gotti?
No, I did not.
You need
I've never even
to.
heard this. I
It's
do.
really, it's so
Yeah.
bad. That's my favorite fucking just thing to think about, really. I know that's a weird thing to have a favorite of, but personally, my favorite is just imagining Scientologists having to walk up to John Travolta and like being like, yeah, I saw the movie and it was great. I have no notes. It's really good.
Okay, yeah, I definitely need to see this movie. I'll report back on Big Boy movies after I see this.
Yeah,
I also
you.
apparently need to see Butter because people
Oh,
keep recommending me in the Discord to
yeah.
watch
Someone in the
Butter. I've never heard of
Discord
this.
told me to ask you if you've seen it and then specifically to say that it was a good movie, but I've also never seen it, so I don't know.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's just one person in the Discord is just telling other people to tell me to watch Butter. But
Yeah.
then in the fucking Twitch chat during the podcast the other day, someone who isn't in the Discord said it, and I was like, who fed him this info? Who fed him the info to say watch Butter?
Yeah, this
It
is
was BB's friend
absolutely a
Mark. It was
conspiracy.
BB's friend Mark, and I'm like, what the fuck? How does Mark know about Butter too? Like, what is Butter? Why am I hearing about Butter right now? It came out in like 2010. Everyone's freaking out about it now. I don't get
You're,
it.
that's a thing I enjoy doing, is trying to like go back and find some of the most obscure movies of like my early teenage years and trying to see what they're actually like. There was this one called How to Eat Fried Worms, I think. I think it was
Oh,
like
dude.
I think it was a
I
book
know.
originally, and yeah,
Yeah.
I just watched the trailer the other day and it was the most fucking insane thing I've ever seen. Like genuinely so fucked.
Yeah, dude. I fucking read that book in elementary school or middle school or something. I fucking read that book. I don't think I ever saw the movie, but I remember reading the book and being like, I don't remember anything about it, to be honest, except
Yeah.
the kid fucking eats fried worms or something like it's his profession.
Like it's his job. Like he gets paid 9 to 5 to eat a fucking nightcrawler. Dude, have you ever seen Nightcrawler? That's a good movie.
Oh, that is a very good movie. I really
Yeah,
like that movie. That
me
was
too.
actually one of the
That's
first
one of my
movies I
favorites.
saw. One of the first movies I saw when I was really getting into movies. So
Mm.
it had a lasting impact on me for sure.
Yeah, and
It
I'm
was great.
pretty into most of Gyllenhaal's movies. I think
Yeah.
they're usually pretty interesting. I don't know if that's like him or if it's just a product of him like usually taking good roles, but
I
Most of
think
them turn out to be pretty good.
he just takes good ass roles, to be honest. There's some movies, obviously, he fucking swung and missed on, whiffed
Yeah,
big time, like that
yeah.
one space one from with Damon, maybe, or someone. I can't remember who it was with, but it was like last year. I don't even remember the name of it,
Mm.
but it was like Gyllenhaal and someone in space, and he fucking whiffed big. But Gyllenhaal's in so many good movies. Nocturnal Animals is another movie he's in that I really love and recommend to people because I think it's super underrated.
I there was like a long stretch of my life where Donnie Darko was my favorite movie, and then I sort of like saw other movies. But I still think Donnie Darko, like as kind of goofy and like pretentious as it is, I think it still has a special place in my heart for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that movie recently for the first time, and I still think it's a pretty good movie.
Mm.
Even I saw movies before I saw it, but I still think it's a pretty good movie. There are movies that like I will talk. This is spoilers maybe for big one movies that I'm about to record in like an hour. But I just saw Dark Knight Rises, and I will say it's like a thing. You see movies like that you really fucking liked when you're a teenager, and then you're dreading. Like I was dreading watching Dark Knight Rises again because so many people around me have complained about it and said it wasn't good that I was like, God, I know I'm not going to like this when I watch it again. And I finally have to watch it again, and it's not as good of a movie anymore. And I'm just like, isn't it just so bad when you have like those favorite like Donnie Darko or something like that, and you're like, I'm scared to watch this now.
Yeah. I also will do this thing a lot where pretty much I don't rewatch movies that often, but when I do, the context is usually like sitting down with other people who have never seen it. And so the fucking like prelude into it is always me being like, "Oh my God, you haven't seen this? We have to check this out."
Yeah, yeah,
And we all
of
sit down to
course.
do it. And then immediately anytime anything kind of shitty about the movie happens, it feels like a personal like
Oh
attack on
yeah.
me. I'm like, "Oh no."
Dude, I'm literally sitting there with anxiety when I'm showing with my family or something. Like I'm literally sitting there like, holy shit, like holding back, just like shaking. I'm just like, what? I hope they like this part. This part's so good. If they don't fucking stand up and applaud for it, I've failed.
Yeah. And then you always like when it starts to get to those parts, you're always like, oh wait, this is my favorite part. And then they see it and there's just nothing on their fucking face.
See,
You're like,
that's the mistake. You can't make that mistake. You can't
yeah.
tell them this is my favorite
Yeah,
part, or
no.
else they'll have too high expectations and they'll be like, that part was fucking awful.
I hated that. And as an extension, I hate you for it.
Yeah, showing people movies is scary. I agree.
Really is. I don't know. I think anything a lot of people I think that's why a lot of people get so defensive about movies is just your taste in art in general, whether that's like music or movies or TV. I think we all sort of hold that very like close to the chest and like we see that as a
Mm.
representation of our personality.
Yeah, and some would say like, it's subjective at the end of the day, but I usually don't say that. And if I really don't fucking like a movie, I'll really dig into someone about it.
Yeah,
I'll really get at them. I'll tell them that their taste is fucking awful. They have no clue what they're talking about.
right.
Like, someone came to me the other day, was like, "Oh, John, like Godfather, you got to see it's a really good movie." And I came out to him, I was like, "You're a fucking idiot, man. It's fucking awful. Directing's awful. Acting's awful. Didn't believe any of it. Not
Right.
realistic.
Yeah, you said all
Bad."
this wearing a full suit, holding a cannoli, just fucking two goons at your side ready to break their kneecaps.
Holding a cannoli. Two goons with me. They're like, clearly, man, you like some part of the film. You look
Yeah,
exactly
you've
like you just
you've
came out of it.
obviously taken this to heart. Like, there's no way.
There's no way you didn't like this film.
It's like it's like saying you didn't like fucking The Irishman after sitting there for the
Three
majority
and
of
a
a
half hours.
Tuesday. Yeah,
Just wasted my whole day on this movie and I didn't like it.
I didn't
You
care
could have
for it.
stopped.
Yeah.
You definitely could have stopped, Like it's the pause button's right there. You just fucking stop.
What would you say kind of in the vein of Godfather, what would you say the biggest like classics that you either haven't seen or did see and don't really get the fucking appeal?
Ooh, that's a good question. My biggest fucking take that I'll never live down because obviously everyone loves this franchise, Star Wars. Never saw it as a kid because my family just didn't like Star Wars. Like they're the fucking Italian mob. They don't like Star Wars. They're Godfather. So I never saw Star Wars as a kid. I saw it in college, and the original Star Wars movie, like the first one, I think is super fucking overrated. Everyone loves it. I think I know it was like the first of its kind or whatever, and I think that's why it's rated so highly. But I think it's so, I don't know. I think there are movies that came out around the time that are so much more in depth and like amazing, like Kubrick's and all this stuff. And I think it's
Yeah,
so surface level and so like plain. It's just such like a
right.
easy story to write, I feel like.
Yeah, for
And I
sure. I actually completely agree with you. I've never, this is probably gonna get me like bullied quite a bit, but I've never sat through an entire one of the like original Star Wars movies.
Oh really?
I went to see the new ones in theaters and I thought they were fine. But then like going back and knowing like what parts of the original Star Wars I have seen, hearing everybody on Twitter complain about the new ones, I was like, yeah, I agree it's not good, but like it's not that
Yeah.
much worse than the originals, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's super simple. Like I think episode 5 is pretty damn good movie. Um, but episode 4 is just like so overrated, in my opinion. I think some of like the prequel movies are better than episode 4. I think episode 4 is so plain, so obvious what's going to happen. Like, and they didn't even like, he clearly didn't write ahead at all because he had fucking Leia and Luke as like lovers in that movie. Like, not yet, but like clearly he was like planning on doing it. And then it was like,
Yeah.
oh no, they're brother sister. Forget that shit because they
Yeah.
kissed. Um, but I don't know. I just think it's such a weird movie that people like. I personally don't like. I think Rise of Skywalker is a piece of trash, but Last Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, actually. So, which is a very unpopular opinion,
Yeah, I can
obviously.
see in the reflection that there's like pitchforks and fire outside your window right now.
Yeah, it's
So
my dad. I don't know why he doesn't even care about Star Wars.
he's just holding a sign that says rent is coming up.
So. 2 days late, bitch. All right.
Um, yeah, I definitely know what you mean about Star Wars. I feel like maybe if I was a kid when it came out and I like saw it in theaters, then it would
Yeah,
really have, because I think a lot of it is just like a nostalgia thing, which I
it
get. I mean,
definitely
there's
is.
definitely movies like that for me, but I don't
It's
know.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely, and it's like the spectacle of like the first. I don't even know if it's the first hero villain, but he like revolutionized blockbuster cinema basically with it, obviously. But I think it was still like, I think like there are directors out there like Hitchcock and Kubrick who fucking revolutionized film like but did it with like insanely in-depth movies that were
Yeah,
nuts. Like you could watch 2001: A Space Odyssey and you'd be like, this must have came out recently. Like this is
right.
insanely smart. Like
Yeah, I think
no
I
way.
think the big difference for me is like uh Kubrick sort of and Hitchcock sort of revolutionized film in a way that eventually would, turn into what we see as good movies today,
Sure.
as where George Lucas kind of did it in a way that is what we see in like Marvel movies, which, it's not my thing, but I don't think you can call them bad, but it's not like good storytelling
Yeah.
necessarily. I don't know. I feel like that's
I,
another very unpopular opinion, but
I mean, you have a yes man here, right here. As someone who does
thank
not
God.
fucking does also is not into Marvel movie. I mean, I like some of them. I'm not gonna come out here and say I
Yeah.
fucking hate all
I
of
think
them.
like the Spider-Man stuff they've done recently was pretty good.
I still haven't seen. I saw the end of Far From Home, which I'm very pissed about because my brother turned it on one night, and I was just like, okay, well now I guess I'm watching the end of Far From Home. Um, I recently watched the original Spider-Man trilogy, which is on my podcast. We talked about it, and I thought that was pretty good.
It's at
Um,
least like unique and original, which is
yeah,
so much more than you can say for a lot of
yeah.
superhero stuff, I
I
feel
think
like.
I don't know. I watch any of these Marvel movies, they're all about a different hero, but they're all the same. And it's just
Yeah.
like, why can't these all, like, that, like you're saying, that Spider-Man trilogy feels like its own thing. The Batman Nolan trilogy feels like its own thing. Like they all have their own thing, but now they all just seem like the same thing with a different protagonist in it,
Right.
which is kind of annoying. Like, I think that's why maybe like Black Panther differentiated itself a little bit. It was a
Yeah.
little bit different at least, and
Same with like Guardians of the Galaxy and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
exactly.
That's what's like. That's actually an interesting point because I do feel like the most successful Marvel movies are just the ones that are kind of different because
Exactly.
everything else just blends into itself so much. Kind of in the same boat as The Godfather for you. I fell asleep 3 different times watching the first Avengers movie, and after the third
Oh.
time, I was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess this just isn't for me." Like, I didn't actively dislike it when I was watching or anything,
Yeah.
but I was just like, "Okay, obviously, like,
Yeah. I dude, having the Avengers take sucks because that is like I feel like universally everyone's like, no, but Avengers is a really good movie.
yeah,
And I'm just like, I am with you on that. Like the first time I saw it, I was very distracted. That was annoying because I was in a movie theater with a lot of people talking. So I was like,
mm,
I have to see it again, obviously.
yeah,
And I saw it again and I was like, yeah, this isn't like that special to me. I
right,
don't know.
yeah." I
Yeah,
don't
it's just
know.
not me.
It definitely is like a tough opinion to have because I also think there's like a lot of like just contrarianism for the sake of it
Yeah.
in film critique, and I don't want to like feed into that kind of shit, but I just don't like it, and I don't really know what to do about it. I can't
Dude,
make myself like it.
I have that legit conundrum all the time. I'm like, okay, I didn't like this movie, but how do I convince people that I actually didn't like it and I'm not just trying to argue?
Yeah, yeah. How do I convince people that I'm not just being an asshole? I actually
Exactly.
don't enjoy this.
Yeah, you're like with a group of people, they're like, you didn't like Avengers? You fucking suck, man. It's just immediately.
It's like I know, but I really don't think that's the reason why. I feel like that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's I don't know. It sucks. I definitely don't want to feel like an asshole. Like sometimes I mean everyone does it. Like if they didn't like a movie, sometimes they're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna bite this bullet. I'm just being like, yeah, it was good.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
just
It's
not
just
talk about
easier.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any movies that were planned to come out before all this happened that you were looking forward to that have either been like postponed or?
I guess oh, there was one called Minari. That's an A24 film
Mm,
that was supposed to come out in the summer, I think, and ended up not. Another A24 film was actually The Green Knight that was supposed to come out as well. That did not come out either. So both of those, I guess. Tenet, maybe. Tenet's now coming out, obviously, pretty soon. Because I do like Chris Nolan. I think Dunkirk was really good, but
yeah.
we'll see how Tenet is. Um, Besides that, I can't really think of too many. Like I'm usually the movies I like usually come out in like October, November, December, anyways. So
Right.
not too many. I don't think I was missing too many. So
Yeah. You mentioned
I guess it wasn't that bad.
A24, and I brought up best movies you've seen since like September of 2019. I did you see Uncut Gems? That was one I
Yes.
forgot to mention, but I thought it was pretty pretty grand.
Uh, okay, dude. Okay. Oscars, you did fucking fantastic this year. Parasite,
Right.
sweeping, amazing, great.
Yeah.
But I'm still a little pissed at you for just like disregarding A24 almost completely
Right.
because no Sandler, no Uncut Gems, fucking because Uncut Gems was great. Um, Midsummer was good, but I understand that one maybe a little bit more. I don't know. A24 had some great movies last year. Got disrespected. There was one more. Oh, The Farewell. The Farewell also got
Mm,
fucking snubbed like crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, Oscar's great job, but definitely look at A24 more because they had really good movies last
Right.
year.
They also made the first Safdie brothers film that had Robert Pattinson in it, Good Time.
Yeah, Good Time. Yeah,
Yeah. Did
yeah,
you
that's a
like
great
that?
movie as well.
Yeah, I
Yes,
thought that was super good.
I always go back and forth on Uncut versus Good Time and which one I
Right.
like more. Like they're both so good. Um, I don't know. I almost like Good Time maybe a little more because it's a little shorter and to
Yeah,
the point.
for
But I
sure.
still have to watch Uncut one more time to figure it out. I feel like, but I don't know. Uncut was something that I could relate to pretty heavily because all my friends were getting pretty big into sports betting too. So there are a bunch of my friends who were like, "Oh yeah, shit, I'll watch
Right.
this movie."
And you are actually a fucking lucrative jewels dealer. So
Yeah,
I
I
left
could
that out of
really
the intro because you're kind of in a lot of trouble with both the IRS and just various gangs. But
Yep, that is me. They basically based Sandler's character off of after me,
yeah, I can tell. You
so
every
I
time you
could
lift
relate
your
to the movie.
hands, they're just like weighed down by like 20 pinky rings. You can barely get them above the table.
Fucking A. I took them off for the cast, but
Yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, if you had a movie based off of your life, wouldn't it just automatically like be your favorite movie? Because you'd just be like, well, this is the movie I relate to the most because I literally lived it, right?
Yeah, I had a really dumb take when I was younger that I was like, well, doesn't everyone think they're the funniest person because they're the only person that knows their exact sense of humor? And I was like, oh, wait, I'm just a narcissist. Never mind. Doesn't really count.
But you still think you're the funniest person, right?
Yeah, of course. No, I've grown. I've found much funnier people. There's some people I find I did like stand-up open mics for a while, and I was really into like comedy. But the modern comedy scene is really like, I don't know, it's kind of shitty. I feel like every white middle-aged male comedian now has to do like a 45-minute bit about how easily offended people are these days. And it's like, dude, holy fuck, get some new premises. Like,
Yeah, I've heard that stand-ups way too many times at this point. It's like, yeah, I guess, man. I
yeah, it's
guess
also
everyone's
like
getting pretty
your
offended.
fucking it's also your job to make people laugh. So like regardless if you think that people are taking jokes too seriously or whatever, like that's not really up to you. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
your job to make people laugh. It's like if a fucking head chef at a restaurant spit in your food and they were like, "I'm sorry, I just have like a dark sense of cuisine." Like if you can't handle it.
It's like a chef getting like super pissed at the customers if they don't like it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. If
And
they have
just
one
complain
complaint.
instead of cooking the meal, he's just complaining from the kitchen the whole time
Yeah.
about how some of the customers don't like his food.
I was gonna mention with Uncut Gems, I think part of the reason um, I liked it so much was because when I was a fucking uh, youth, more of like a high schooler, but I really wanted to be a filmmaker, and there was like Punch Drunk Love and the Meyerowitz stories, which are both like really good dramatic performances from Adam
Sandler.
Sandler, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if I ever get like a big budget chance at making a movie, I'm gonna make a dramatic, serious movie and cast Adam Sandler. So it'll just because this was when like Grown Ups was coming out and like
Oh yeah, yeah.
like Jack and Jill and shit. I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna fix his career before he dies because this is too fucked up. I can't watch this happen. But they did it for me, so
Well, now he's gonna make Grown Ups 3, right? Because the Oscars snubbed him.
yeah,
Said
yeah, I
he's
saw that. Honestly, we deserve it at this point.
yeah.
I really think we brought this on ourselves.
I don't know how it could possibly get worse than Grown-ups 2.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see both of them?
Yes, I have seen both of
I
them
did
because
too.
like
I saw the second one in theaters with my family, and they fucking loved it. Like it
dude, it's
killed
not even
them.
a movie. It's literally not a movie. It's just Adam Sandler hanging with his friends for like 2 hours. Like what the fuck?
I know he really like he fucking got everyone on that. He made so much money just going on vacation with his boys.
Dude, there's no fucking plot. There's no plot at all. It
What
is
about the
such a
part where
bad
the
movie.
deer pisses on him, dude? What do you mean there's no
How's that
plot?
plot? That's a random comedic moment, I guess. That's what the
Comedy
whole movie
gold is
is.
what it is. Dude, Al Pacino is in Jack and Jill 2, which is or there isn't two,
The
just the
first one.
first one. Yeah, which is the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah,
The Dunkachino bit. Like I don't think it's funny for
yeah.
the reasons it's supposed to be funny, but it is insanely funny.
It's just funny to look back on it. You're like, holy shit.
This
Like I
actually
do think
happened.
there's some like self-aware parts of Jack and Jill that I think are fine, but other
Yeah.
parts are just like, Jesus Christ, obviously this wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know. Just
my
watching like
goodness.
Sandler's early movies and like his stand up and some of the more serious stuff he's done, I can't help but feel like when he's making those movies, he knows it's like bullshit.
Oh yeah, like he has to know, because
Yeah,
his earlier movies are way better. They
yeah,
actually like
for
are
sure.
coherent, and now he's just like throwing shitty ideas at the wall. He's just like, well, might as well just make some more cash, I guess, and hang out with my friends. Like Chris Rock is hilarious. Might as well hang out with that dude again.
Oh yeah. So this is kind of a question I plan on asking everyone who comes on. You're obviously doing some really cool things with esports right now, which seems like a pretty uh, dream job of yours. I mean, given your background in sports media and how you sort of found a way to differentiate yourself between the rest of your classmates who were shotgunning
Barstools.
beers and watching Barstool Sports. Um, so yeah, just going forward, like within esports and kind of outside of it, what are your sort of aspirations for the future, and what are the things you're kind of
Ooh,
working towards?
good question. I would like to I would like to climb the ladder in esports a little bit more, maybe become a producer, which is basically someone who doesn't film or edit anymore and just
Yeah,
tells other people to film and
doesn't
edit.
clean up athletes' puke after they eat fucking Vegemite.
Exactly. Um, I would like to eventually become a producer. I think that'd be fun. If not, I mean, I think that's the only ladder I really want to climb within esports. Or I don't know. There are a bunch of things that I would really enjoy doing. I would enjoy being more on the player side or like coaching side too, or managing, even player manager or something like that. Because I like content side of things, but I really do. I think there are a lot of people in esports that aren't necessarily the greatest at like managing a team, and like I feel like I think I could step in and do some shit. Like I played like soccer manager or whatever and all that shit growing up. I could do that shit easy, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
You actually
but
put that
besides
on your
that,
resume when you applied, which kind of insane, right?
played football manager 2009.
Fucking won Arsenal the championship. I really did.
Right, I won him the championship. Right, it was me. I made some sick trades. But yeah, besides that, I feel like my long-term dreams are like outside of esports for sure. Um, and has more to do with films and writing. I would love to be a writer one day or a director. I think that'd be super fun. And if I got good enough at it acting, but I definitely need to practice that a bit more probably.
I think you would be great in a Wes Anderson movie. Just
Really.
yeah, very stilted dialogue. I think it would like I don't know, maybe it's your face or your voice, but I think you'd kill it. I really do.
Thank you. It's funny you mentioned that because I like Wes Anderson's like one of the directors that I have poorly rated over the years, which sucks
Mm.
because I
Thoughts
really
on
do
The
like his
Lobster?
The Lobster. I like The
Yeah.
Lobster a lot.
Mm.
Um, that's not Wes Anderson though, right? No, that's Yorgos whatever. The
Yeah,
Lobster is not
it was
Wes Anderson.
unrelated. I
You
was just
failed.
wondering how you felt about the movie.
um, yeah, there's some. I really like Moonrise Kingdom. I did not like Isle for Dogs. Didn't enjoy Fantastic Mr. Fox that much.
Really?
Yeah, I just
That's a I don't think I've ever seen it honestly, but I've heard that's a classic to a lot of people.
yeah, a lot of people really like Fantastic Mr. Fox, but I was not that into it. I don't like his stop motion stuff that much, but his set design, colors, fucking amazing. It's just like his stories that sometimes I have a disconnect to. I think it's because they're like not real sometimes. Like I think the dialogue's pretty real, but like I think the beats aren't that real, and obviously
Yeah,
because he's not trying to make them real,
because
but
it's
I
a
think that's what
fox.
turns me off. Yeah, because it's a fucking fox.
If you
Um,
want to talk about a great animated movie that I know we both like really quick, the SpongeBob movie, the first one,
yes,
holy shit, it's so good.
so good, dude. That
I
is
mean,
like an it is a gem. I feel like adults when we were kids, need to respect that movie a little bit more.
yeah,
It's so good.
absolutely. I think my fucking my IMDb page when I was like a college freshman was all these like um foreign and like indie films because I was really pretentious, and then two of them were The SpongeBob movie and Ratatouille. to
Ratatouille
really,
is pretty foreign, if you ask me.
yeah,
It's French.
it's all French to me.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, SpongeBob movie deserves to be on everyone's IMDb, if you ask me. It's so
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
It's a fucking musical too. Like, come on, it's so good. I love musicals. So that's another movie I should shout out. Singing in the Rain. You hear about it all the time. You don't realize it's fucking actually a masterpiece. So it's
I'm sure
amazing.
they'll really appreciate that shout out from you.
Singing, the director of Singing in the Rain, if you're still alive, it's
It's
my
so
shout out.
dark, right? Not even like if you're listening to this, just like if you haven't fucking croaked yet, buddy.
Please support Singing in the Rain. They need the cash.
Yeah, I'll link it down below. They really
It's on iTunes, all right? Anyone have iTunes here?
fresh out, actually. Um, I think that's actually gonna do it for us here.
What a cast.
If I've taken enough of your time already. But as always, it was very good to talk to you. And
Good to
yeah,
talk to you too.
everyone, please do check out his podcast and his Twitch channel. He's about to hit affiliate either today or tomorrow, right?
Yeah, well, if this podcast comes out tomorrow, then I will have already been affiliate. So
Congrats, very much so. Congrats, you've earned it.
yeah, I guess I should have mentioned Twitch when you asked me about my goals, because yeah, Twitch would be cool too if I somehow blew up. But that's like a crapshoot at this point. So
I genuinely think you're a pretty good streamer.
thank you.
Pretty casual. That's why I donated $5 for you to get that eggplant parm the other day.
And I didn't get it yet.
So
All right.
fucked.
I don't have
Absolutely
time.
so
I don't have
fucked up.
time yet. What if you
You don't have
legally had
time?
to? What if
Uber
you
Eats,
legally
right? Postmates.
What if you legally, like, someone donated and they said you need to buy this with this money? What if you legally had to?
Yeah, we entered into a contract when I fucking sent
I
you
gave
that.
you the money. You legally have to do this. Like, the
Right.
IRS would come
If I don't
for
see
your
a
ass.
fucking eggplant parm in your greedy little paws by the next time you're streaming, like I'm gonna have a mental breakdown, and it's gonna result in litigation. It
I
absolutely
can
is.
sue. I can sue, and
Yeah.
and you'll go to jail for that.
I'm like willing to not make rent this week to hire a lawyer to fucking get an eggplant parm in front of your face. I really am.
Hell yeah. Well, I hope more people listen to this podcast. This podcast is fucking fantastic. And next episode, I hope you get Jake Gyllenhaal. Honestly.
Holy shit. I mean, that's kind of a step down, if I'm being honest. Like
Thank you.
from Jeffrey James, I like obviously just peaked with John George, but then
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal, I mean, like,
Yeah.
he's a talent, I guess, but I feel like he's just kind
He's
of
still higher than Jeff, though. Like,
Oh, for sure. It's
to
like
give him credit, he's still a little higher than Jeff, for sure.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. But he would bring up that I look like a TikTok star, and that I mean that third blow from Donnie Darko himself, I couldn't take it, dude. I'm hanging on by a thread as it is.
You know what? Why has no one done a podcast with Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie Gyllenhaal, both in Donnie Darko, together as a brother-sister duo, and no one's done a fucking podcast with both of them? I think you could be the first.
I like my odds. I really do. I'm fucking taking a bet on myself, Uncut Gem style, and I really think it's about to pay off this time.
You can't bet that. There's no way Vegas will let you.
Fucking real quick before I let you go, I don't know if you've ever, just speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal's sister, they made a sequel to Donnie Darko that's like Samantha Darko, and it's just about her sister, and it's about his sister, and it's like so bad.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
so bad that Donnie Darko was my favorite movie until I was like 18, and I didn't know it existed until last year.
Jeez, when did it come out?
I think like 4 years after Donnie Darko, which was like 2001. Fun fact, Donnie Darko got like pulled from theaters because there's like a plane crash scene, and that was kind of a sensitive topic in 2001.
Oh shit. Damn, I did not know that.
Yeah, but anyway, Donnie Darko diatribes aside, is there anything you would like to plug before I let you go?
You know, like Alex said, like Big Boy Movies, listen to my Big Boy Movies podcast. We actually do it live on my Twitch as well. Follow me on Twitch, John_George. We do that live every Friday, and I also stream games very often with viewers too, because I like playing games with people. But besides that, I guess you could check out like the Boston Uprising YouTube channel if you want to watch some of my work. I wouldn't be like heartbroken if you didn't check it out, but you could check that out as well. Check out the headgun videos I'm in. Boost up the views so I can brag to Jeff's ass about how many views I get.
Absolutely. Not an ounce of insecurity in you.
Yeah, but also subscribe to this fucking YouTube channel and podcast because I can tell you what, Alex is going to make some goddamn good content going forward. All right. This might have sucked, but next ones will be good, okay?
I appreciate that from you. I really do.
Yeah.
That means a lot coming from really, both the inventor of podcasting in general and also this is kind of a deep cut, but the inventor of the hyperlink, which is pretty fucking insane.
Yep, that was me. Invented the hyperlink.
But yeah, before John George, they were all like gray, which is just a terrible color to make them.
You had to copy and paste. You had to fucking copy and paste that shit. You couldn't just click it. I was like, why can't we just fucking click that shit?
You also invented copy and paste. Before that, you had to type it word by word. You sort of like reverse engineered the entire internet, as it were. So
exactly, yeah. Bill Gates was my best friend growing up. So,
and now just kind of
No, I don't like him.
Yeah,
he's giving everyone COVID. So why would I like his ass?
He's gonna fucking implant a chip in all of us to.
Yeah, I mean, just make sure you get away from those 5G towers. All right. That's what I'd like to plug.
Yeah, I think if we could just very quickly to end this, just take a hard anti-vax stance. I think that really wraps a nice fucking bow on all of this.
If there is a fucking vaccine for this COVID shit, which is already a fraud, a fake, do not get the vaccine. You will get autism within a year, at least. So that's what I have to say.
That's what I'd like to plug. To end this on. Thank you so much. I'll be tweeting that at your employers, obviously. No, but thank you so much for being here. It was genuinely
thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for having me, man.